I want to talk about Club Shay Shay, and we see Club Shay Shay is blowing up. You know, his podcast is just blowing up. I want to talk about Colin Cowherd. I call him Colin Cowherd, but I call him Colin Cowherd. This guy right here is a piece of work. 110% piece of work. But every dollar that Sharpe makes, Colin Cowherd makes, because the volume is produced by Shannon Sharpe's podcast is produced by a company that Colin Cowherd founded, and that's the volume. The volume started 3 years ago. They have big names, big people on it. Just for Richard Sherman, Draymond Green, Shannon Sharpe, the nightcap with Ocho Cinco. They got Chris Manx. I'm not sure you know who that is. Colin Cowherd has his own podcast as well. Daniel Cormier has his podcast on as well too. I mean, we're talking big names, and one of the reasons why this is that Shan Sharpe has taken off is he has been a persona that is his persona, and has been something that has corrected society when we saw with Skip. He always talks about how Skip did him a favor. Shannon Sharpe did Skip a favor, right? We made Skip kind of balance out itself. We don't even see highlights from Stephen A. and Skip anymore, right? These guys that just kind of blabbermouth about sports and really don't know the ins and outs, right? What we see is players taking back the platform. Guys like Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe is a personality that not only is tapping into his sports knowledge, but he's also tapping into just media entertainment in general. And he's allowing the people to come on the show and speak and just talk what they want to talk about, right, without any introduction and interruption. This is a model I think a lot of people are going to do. I don't think it's always the best model, but I think it's a model that a lot of people are going to start taking advantage of and allowing the people to actually speak. I don't want to bring somebody on my show, like he said, bring somebody on his show or my show, and then have me speak all the time. This is their opportunity for us to get to know them and speak. And Shannon Sharpe has done an exceptional job about that. We don't even see clips really of him and Skip anymore. We watch Nightcap, and then we watch Club Shay Shay, right? Just because it's an authentic conversation. He's relatable. We know he's not gonna go run his mouth to somebody, right? And this is something that he was leaning more towards when he was on what was it, Undisputed. But then when he left, the best thing back for him was taking his platform back because he's his main selling point. Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. And Stephen A. Smith's probably worse than Skip Bayless. Stephen A. Smith is probably the biggest puppet in the industry. All right, he doesn't really speak. He makes noise to make waves, and a lot of you guinea pigs who watch him love it. Right? I'm not going to Stephen A. Smith for sports advice, political advice, entertainment advice, any advice in my life. I want to go to him for anything because he just makes headlines. And once you guys kind of realize that he just makes headlines, you'll start to realize he's not talking much about anything. But we have these multiple podcasts coming out, players taking the platform back. One of the things I did for the past couple of years was stop getting my information from reporters. What are they saying in the locker room? What are they putting on social media? Who are they communicating with? That's more of an indicator. I want to look at the after-game reports from the actual players rather than the headline discussed from an opinion from somebody who doesn't know about sports or has to make a headline every day so you can watch their show. Club Shay Shay and a Nightcap are that raw kind of perspective. I don't really care for Ocho Cinco. Ocho Cinco's so diplomatic and political that he doesn't have a point of view or perspective. So I don't really care for Ocho Cinco. He's too green for me. I think that one of the reasons why he hasn't really ruffled any feathers when it comes to industry is because he doesn't really have a backbone when it comes to speaking true on issues or getting a keen perspective. So he's kind of green. Gilbert Arenas, I don't really care for Gilbert Arenas, but Gilbert Arenas will speak strong on his opinions and how he feels, even though they're wrong. I rather trust a man who's going to speak honest about what he feels on his opinion rather than someone who tries to be diplomatic in every situation or political in every situation. So I like to see that. I like the fact that Shannon Sharpe's bringing other guys onto the show. You know, I want to hear Chad Ochocinco talk football, right? I want to hear Chad Ochocinco's mindset when it comes to, okay, what's your mindset when you got to run a slant versus cover two or cover six, right? What's your mindset of you know, you're the slot and you have to you know, you have an override, you have to move the safety, right? I want to see more of of that versus, you know, Shannon Sharpe giving his political perspective on things because he doesn't look at policy or anything. So those are kind of the Shannon Sharpe has done a great job of it. I like the fact that he's kind of veered a little bit more away from ESPN and more of his podcast. I think he still should keep the podcast. I mean the ESPN, ESPN because there's that platform. I'm hoping they're weaning Shannon Sharpe out. I mean, sorry, Stephen A. Smith out. Guys like that and giving the platform back to players. I think that's the most important thing.